Okay.
Dragic, you run there. I mean, you got to get a guy. And you look, these guys are good, Skip. They know all the tricks of the trade. Dragic's like, oh, I'm just going to give him a little bit with my lower body. You see, I'm going straight up. I'm going straight up.
Yep.
Come on. Don't even put yourself in that situation. If he hits that shot, Skip, sometimes you got to live with it. These guys are great, but don't put... He almost hit a 4-point play, and then you'd have been sick. You really would have been sick, Dragic, if you let that get, because I don't even know why you didn't put yourself in that situation. Skip, don't even give the official an opportunity to make those calls. He made it. I just don't, Giannis, I don't even know what you were thinking. I really don't. I don't know what Dragic was thinking. I believe they got the, they nitpicking, you know, back in my day, if there wasn't no blood drawn, there was no foul call. I get all that. Yep. But it's not back in your day. And in today's game, a lot of the ticky-tack stuff that in years past they let slide, they're not sliding it. They're not let sliding anymore. Skip, they used to let your hand check. You could literally steer the guy like you're steering a car. They don't let your hand check anymore. Okay, we get that. So, given the way they officiate games now, you don't even put yourself in that situation, and then you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. So, as I watched these two calls unfold last night, my first reaction was, I wouldn't have made either one of those calls, but I am older school. I appreciate the new school, but I'm with whoever tweeted you last night or responded to you about back in the day. I'm more back in the day on this. I would definitely ref down the stretch of a big playoff game. I would let them play. Let them decide the game. I'm not going to decide for them. But by the letter of today's NBA law, that was a foul and that was a foul. Because today they are trying to go for shooter safety.
You got
shooter safety. You have to let them land cleanly and without incident on the way down. So on the Chris Middleton play, if we see that one first,
Dragic tried to get slick.
He just edged into the landing zone just enough, and then he leaned forward just enough that by the letter of the law, it's a foul because you were in his landing zone just barely, and he's going to hit you and fall. Now, did Middleton lay it on thick?
Oh,
he did. You got it.
He should get a Golden Globe for that one.
So,
not an Oscar, but a Golden Globe.
Would I call it? No. By letter of the law, was it a foul? Yes, it was. And by the way, I'm just glad it wasn't LeBron having to go to that line and make 3 free throws. That would have been a whole...
How LeBron get in this?
It would have been Friday the 13th.
LeBron would have hit the shot. It would have been a 4-point play.
Really?
It would have made it moot. We don't win the game with a free throw.
And to Chris Middleton's credit, he just marched to the line and said, give me the ball. And he goes, swish, swish, swish. Nothing but net 3 straight times. And he did it so fast, he didn't even mess around. Like, he made 3 in a row before. I'm like, wait, was that the 3rd one already? Yeah, that was the 3rd one. Okay, now we get down to the final play. You might think, well, were they trying to give a makeup call back?
Balance it out.
Yeah, to balance it out? No, they weren't. They showed you how they were calling the game.
Thank you.
They're calling it tight. They're calling it by the letter of the law, the new age law. So what do you think's going to happen if Jimmy Butler goes up, if we could see the play, to shoot it? The ball is gone, and as he's coming down, Giannis goes over and pushes him off balance just enough that it makes it a dangerous fall. Is he laying it on thick? You better believe he is. But Giannis put a hand on him and moved him a little bit sideways to where it's more of a dangerous fall to earth, you know, onto the hardwood.
And Mark Davis is right there on top of it.
Right on top of it. He's going to call it. They had just shown you that's how we're going to end this game. We're going to go tweet, tweet, tweet all the way home. And I wasn't surprised because was there contact? Yes. There was contact. I believe subliminally, psychologically, I believe Giannis, like too many of today's star athletes, lives on social media. He's talked about it before. He absorbed, swallowed, you know, took to heart all the criticism that he took for where were you on Jimmy Butler when he was scoring 40 in the previous game. So in the back of his mind, he's thinking, oh, well, maybe I better come off my man because this is it. It's down to zeros on the clock. Maybe I better make a run at Jimmy Butler so they won't hound me on social media, so they won't blast me and condemn me on social media. I'm going to go get into this play a little bit. And he overdoes it. He can't stop. and he puts a hand on Jimmy Butler.
Skip, if it was game one and Jimmy has it going, I could see him coming to give Wesley Matthews some help.
Yeah.
But Jimmy was struggling on the offensive end. He had only taken 7 shots up until that point. He was 3 of 7. He was 0 from the three-point line. So why? Matthews has him dead to right. He stops his initial and Matthews right there. Skip, sometimes you got to give the other. Sometimes a guy can play great defense, and you hear the guy say, that's great defense. That's better offense. If a guy hits my best pitch, Skip, I got to live with it.
Yep. By the way, they let Wes Matthews get away with reaching in. No, he reached in first on the dribble and slapped him across the forearm, and I thought that could have been called a foul, but they let that one go. Right. And then he's fading away, and that happened. But to your point, it was another weird Jimmy Butler game.
Right.
He scored 40 points in game one.
Right.
He took 20 shots. He made 13. And then to your point, even with the last shot,
only 8.
He's 3 of 8.
Right.
Jimmy, where are you?
Right.
He went passive. He sort of just drifted through the game. It felt like he was trying to prove his point that they don't need me to score big. We don't need that. We got a lot of guys who can score, and they do.
They got, Skip, 7 guys in double figures. Dragic led the way with 23, but you see a bunch of 16s, 14s, 16s.
You do.
You know. And so for me, Skip, I just don't get what Giannis was thinking, Skip, in a situation like that. If somebody has it cooking, yeah, you want to come double, but Wes Matthews stopped his initial and got him falling away from the basket with no time from 20 feet, and you foul him.
Yep.
Why?
And by the way, Jimmy stepped up to the line, and he had 2 to make 1.
Right.
In that first one, I thought it was out.
I did too.
Because it hit the front rim on the ricochet so hard that I thought it would just edge right over and fall off. But it somehow popped up in the air and fell, and I don't know how it came back and fell in. I thought it was teetering to go off, and then all of a sudden it reversed itself and fell in.
I mean, he like AD in the All-Star game. Remember, AD in the All-Star game missed the first one on purpose.
Really?
Just to put that pressure on himself to let him know what it like.
I'm not sure Jimmy wanted to have to make the second.
No.
Ooh.
Let that first one go in and it's over.
Yeah, and it was like a hand of God. The hand of God just sort of pushed the ball back over the rim. But in the end, Miami outplayed them from start to finish. Miami is the better team on the floor, maybe not on paper, not in the odds makers' eyes, but they're just playing better, and they are better.
The Bucks got their work cut out for them, Skip, because the biggest thing is that the Heat don't fear them. The Heat beat them in the regular season. Now they've taken 2 of them from them in the playoffs. And the thing is, Skip, is that there is no home court. You're in an empty gym, so you're not getting any boost from the